All right, y'all. I'm back. Yep. Just gonna make up from the other day. I told y'all I had some stuff I had to do. So man, it's been fun. Oh man, it's been fun. Trying to get my little microphone together here for y'all. Yeah, it's been a doozy, man. Like this live stream gonna be a doozy too. Yes, indeed. What's good, Brown Do Life? We back at it again. Yes, indeed. What up, Venom? What up, Venom? Get my little microphone together here. What's the weather like in y'all city? You know what I'm saying? What's the weather looking like for y'all? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it was pretty warm here where I'm at in Kansas City. Yeah, it's pretty warm. I was surprised. It was cold the other day. Now it's warm. Yeah, we'll see what the next day do. I guess that little late warm temperature in the fall kicking in. Yeah, get this oh, Pittsburgh, 57 degrees. Yeah, I gotta check out Pittsburgh one of these days, man. I was there uh uh a few times. I've been there before. Let me see. Hey, yo, what up, what up? Hopefully I sound good. Hopefully I sound good. Yes, indeed. Well, yeah, we're gonna pick up where we left off yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before yesterday. Yeah, when we was starting to chop up good about this idea of the prototype woman, and we're gonna start off with some heat already. Oh, let's see what Venom said. Oh, KC, your hometown. Okay, okay, that's what's up, man. Yeah, Jacksonville, Arkansas. I don't think I've been there before. I've probably been by there, but yeah. Okay, and then I had to highlight this about Brown Do Life too. Got them steep hills in Pittsburgh. Yes, indeed. I like it there. Yeah, but I'm trying to see, man. I think they got good barbecue in Arkansas too, Venom. Gotta hit me on to that. I'm kind of curious. Uh, but yeah, check this out, y'all. Uh, if those of you who have not checked out, if you have not checked out the previous live stream about the prototype woman, I highly encourage you to check that out. It's in my playlist, live streams from yours truly. You know what I'm saying? Those listening to this on the replay, check out that live and come back and listen to the rest of this one. Uh, oh yeah, I know, right? Like I'm a big fan of Arthur. Here in Kansas City, I'm a big fan of Arthur Bryant's. You know what I'm saying? I'm originally from St. Louis, but I've been living in Kansas City for a little minute. I could say, yeah. I mean, St. Louis is known for them rib tips, though, but you know, in Kansas City, you could get kind of sort of everything. So that's what I like about being out here. Uh, yep, I've been to Pittsburgh quite a few times. Brown Do Life. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna do this H2O check, and we finna go in. Woo! Yes, indeed. But yeah, for everybody else, make sure you got your popcorn, you got your not, you got your popcorn, your nachos, hot dogs, and soda. And yes, for you vegan lovers, get your vegan meals out. Yeah, we finna go in once again. Uh, okay. Let me see this. Okay. What Venom said. Portions at Bryant's and sauce at Gates. Yep, yep. I like actually the baked beans at Arthur Bryant's. That's my favorite thing about Arthur Bryant's. Um, okay, check this out because we had this. Let's just start off. You know, this is going to actually tie in with the prototype woman. Okay. Now everybody kind of knows this what happened with Cardi B. I'm not going to speak too much on the Cardi B situation, her and Offset, but one point that she brought up, you know, and a few content creators have kind of spoke on this. The main reason behind her divorce was that she said herself she wanted to be free like a bird, and she didn't want nobody to tell her what to do. But see, this always has been in Cardi's B. This always has been in Cardi's nature. You know what I'm saying? Because she's from the streets. But you know, the thing about Offset, he knew she was from the streets, but he's from the streets too. But it was just not going to work. They were two negatives trying to make something positive, but it doesn't work that way in real life. You know what I'm saying? Two negatives trying to turn something into a positive. You just saw a case in point with them two, why that doesn't really work out. The two negatives becoming positive. You know, now I'm not saying there's no silver lining. There are probably some exceptions to what I just stated. But hey, good evening. Good to see you up in the building once again, Charlotte Swan. Good to see you again. We finna go in. Here's the thing. You know, the thing about Cardi B, we know that she comes from a stripper background and she comes from a hoe background. Yes, she was a real certified hoe. She had a pimp. And she also was working at stripper pole. She's certified hoe. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about hoes, they come in two ways. You know what I'm saying? A hoe can either be a prostitute or a hoe can be a stripper. See, they don't understand that hoe actually has two meanings. You know what I'm saying? But see, Cardi B, as Red Supreme pointed out earlier in his live stream, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got basically someone like Offset trying to make Cardi B into a housewife, but she was a hoe. You can't make a hoe into a housewife. Literally, you just saw case in point with Cardi B. Facts. You know what I'm saying? She was the hoe that could not remain a housewife. She even said it. You know, she didn't cook, she didn't clean, but she still got that ring. You know, she still got taken in to be this wife, but she wasn't really a housewife. She wasn't trying to cook, she wasn't trying to clean. Now, getting off Cardi B, but I'm tying this in with the prototype woman. Why do a lot of, and this is kind of a question to y'all, but I'm gonna give y'all an answer, you know, so don't worry. It's not a quiz, but why you think with a lot of these females that aren't women out here, why you think a lot of them have not been able to be a housewife? Why do you think that a lot of them have not been successful housewives? Simple answer, because they were hoes or they had the hoe mentality. So yes, they were hoes that could not be made into housewives. So you got a lot of chicks who aren't submissive. They're not trying to be real women. So therefore, they're not trying to be a housewife because they got that hoe mentality. See, a whore and a hoe ain't the same either. See, a hoe is certified and a whore just trying to be certified. You know, some people call those type of chicks acculturated prostitutes. Or you could call them octane, and the hoe is diesel, okay? But nevertheless, the whore always trying to emulate and imitate the hoe, you know? But nevertheless, she could never be a housewife because she got that hoe in her or she got that hoe on her, either way. So that's why you see with a lot of these chicks, why they still don't have a man, is because, baby, you still like them streets. You still for the streets. You still think like the streets. You don't think about the house. You think about them streets too much. You got that street mentality, that street talk, that street walk. You're a street walker. How many chicks do y'all know like to live their best life? Go out there late at night, drive their car at like, a lot of chicks getting charges and challenges nowadays. I don't know. But nevertheless, she could be in a little bitty Mitsubishi Mirage, Virage. I don't know if that's what they call them little bitty Mitsubishis, but she on the highway, well in that car at like 90 miles an hour, drinking, listening to a lot of loud music, and they like to smoke on that loud. You know what I'm saying? They want to try to be very masculine. Far from a housewife, if you ask me. Oh, they got kids. They leave them kids abandoned. Forget having somebody watch them kids when they do their little thing. No, they abandon them kids. There have been many accounts of little toddlers at home by themselves while the mama wanted to go out and ride the carousel. It's very sad. Uh, so let's see what some people have said so far. Uh, Venom said, not without misery and drama, but I know a PI that did. Oh, yeah, he wifed up the hoe. But see, yeah, the hoe to the pimp, the hoe to the PI is the bottom. Yeah, but see, it's yeah, even a PI, it can be hard for him to deal with a bottom, especially when she hasn't fully submitted to his program per se. Uh, Oh yeah, Brown do life. Yeah, Offset was definitely simping to her at one point. I mean, he kept trying to beg for her to come back to him, but yeah, he was already out there doing what he was doing. So it's like, bro, you got to stick to your player code. If you're a player, you got to stay a player. If you're not trying to be a player, you got to give up the game. It is what it is. See, they ain't gonna tell you that though. Venom said, no father in their lives, and the females that are around, not any good examples of femininity. Facts. Now let's go on into this idea of the prototype woman because this all ties in. I mean, you see basically these whores that try to emulate the life of a hoe, and these hoes who try to emulate the life of a wife and a woman. All these chicks wanting to try to have this aspect of womanhood and being a wife, but they got that octane or that diesel nature. You know what I'm saying? They got that in them. You know what I'm saying? And they're just basically to me the run of the mill. Like something from a salvage yard. You can't even look at it as something that you can see even as a prototype. It's been mangled. Like you go to a salvage yard, you see these mangled automobiles. Like they're rusted and they're just pretty much beyond repair. They're about to end up in the crusher or end up in the shredder. And a lot of these chicks are just one step away from that, literally. You get a lot of chicks who do have a lot of extended felony charges. Now, nothing against feminine gender that has a felony charge, but you turned your life around and you became a woman out of what you used to be as probably a typical female. So yeah, no disrespect to that type of lady. Much love to you for turning your life around. So I'm talking about the chicks that dwell in the muck of the mire. They the pigs that want to stay in the mud. They the dogs that want to eat on the vomit. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay in the filth. You can't even conceptualize a chick like that because see, it's just like a concept. It's all about this exaggeration, motivation. The exaggeration equals the motivation, which equals the influence. So basically, ladies, what I mean by exaggeration is you just do the best you can to just have that guy get your attention. Like, hey, look at me, hi, hi, hi. Like, I'm not saying you're gonna be like a pick me chick, but you like a guy, so you're gonna kind of look at him and smile, and you're gonna be like, hey, how's it going? You know what I'm saying? So that's the exaggeration part. You just kind of putting yourself out there because you actually like the guy. So you got a lot of chicks nowadays who would not want to be prototypical like that. They look at a dude with a grunt on their face. They look at him with a mean bug, like that. Like, dang, you know what I'm saying? But that's how they be though. But nevertheless, the prototype woman ain't like that. She actually is trying to be friendly with a guy that she actually likes. You know what I'm saying? And so that's obviously the exaggeration equals motivation because then the guy gonna turn around like, oh, hey, what up? Especially if you like looking really decent, like womanly, like you wearing like a flower dress. What? Like you got like a flower on your hair? Like when was the last time a chick had a flower on her hair? Ladies, I think that's sexy personally. I think like you wearing a flower on your hair, there's something sexy about that. Cause normally, I would be more traditional in saying that a woman shouldn't show her hair in the public. But if you wear your hair in such a way that it's not like tempting, but it's more classy, it's not like thotty looking, it's more classy, I don't see nothing wrong with that. It's a certain way you wear your hair that's not more on the temptress or the ratchet side, if you will. But I don't know. I just think a chick with a flower in her hair, I just think that's cute. I think that's kind of cool, kind of sexy in my opinion. Like, like you just a lot of ladies you see these in this day and age, they don't embody the true womanhood to even know how to like style their hair because everybody want to have that bonquisha type of hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, exactly, Venom. Not in yoga pants. No, no more yoga pants, please. We don't need to see that no more in 2020 and beyond. No more yoga pants. You know, uh, if we had a Million Man March, the brothers should have a march and have these signs up saying "No more yoga pants, no more yoga pants." You know, but yeah, just this lady in the now you know I ain't gonna lie, like little baby, he not little baby, the baby, he's something else. He one of them little young dudes, you know, talking about, you know, I like the chick that's in the dress because I know she got an ass that's bigger. You know, I'm like, bro, see, why you gonna make ratchet out of that, bro? Why you gonna do that? Why can't a lady wear a dress and you not thinking about how big her ass is in that dress? Come on, man, come on, bro. Like, ladies, if I'm looking at you, I'm actually just looking at your dress. I'm not necessarily thinking about your ass in the dress. Like, okay, your ass is in the dress, but I'm actually like, you look very proportionate in the dress. So I'm kind of trying to think about the dress, you know. So it really helps if you dress in a classy way to where it just detracts a lot of guys' attention more so, you know. So, but you see chicks, sometimes they be like, you know, they know what they got back there and up there, you know, whether you got a butt or some boobs, you know, whether they're real or fake, you know, but she gonna show it off because she's using her goodies and her assets. You know, it's sad, but see, that's not what the prototypical woman is doing. Once again, I gave y'all an idea of how she exaggerates, you know, as far as trying to reach out to a guy she likes. But then it's motivation to him because upon her exaggerations to him, he turns around and he sees how classy she looks and how she appears, and then that influences him, you know. So yes, exaggeration equals the motivation, which equals the influence. And so that's similar to like a concept car. That's going to end up a prototype. It has an exaggerated body style that kind of gives everybody the ooh ah factor, and so that motivates people to want to check it out. Like, wow, I ain't seen nothing like that before. And then that influences people to be like, well, are they going to make that car? Man, we need to see that car built. That's a dope looking car. So maybe it might influence this guy to be like, hey, yo, I mean, hey, what's your name? My name is Ray, you know, and you tell me your name, you know, then, you know, we just go from there, sweetie. But yeah, nevertheless, though, moving forward from the concept and becoming like a prototype, it's a work in progress. She requires patience. Yeah, she requires patience, and she must also be patient. So that's the thing with the prototype woman. You know, fellas, you know that you like what you saw with her initially, and she was cool with you. But overall, like, as you grow to know her, not get to know, yeah, you're growing to know her, not get to know. Yeah, I like to say grow to know, not get to know. But in that knowing stage, you know that, you know, she's a work in progress. She requires patience, but she's also patient. You know what I'm saying? So meaning like, given that she's a work in progress, but she still has a bubbly personality. She's just very giddy and very cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got some of these underdeveloped masculine genders that sometimes be wanting to purposely see a chick get mad. You know, you got some ladies that be like, I don't even be trying to act mad. You know, you got some guys that want a woman to get mad or something. Like, he just, because he's not used to someone being happy around him because he's underdeveloped, and so he don't want somebody around him happy because he's not used to being happy himself. I say, ladies, get away from that type of toxic relationship. Be around a man that wants to be as happy as you and like it that you're as happy as him at times. Like, just, you know, your bubbly personality kind of makes him like, for real, come on, baby, come on. He's like, girl, you know what I'm saying? You know, you make him smile. You know, it's a wonderful thing. Or at the same time, ladies, there's just little things about him that make you smile. I think this is awesome, but this also just is part of that work in progress and the patience. You know, if y'all kind of go through life with just having some sense of humor in the midst of things that might not always be ideal, I think that helps the work in progress. Um, let's see what Venom said. Um, I look at the eyes and listen for the truth spoken. Then I may examine the complete package. Yep, exactly. Likewise, likewise. And then you also said, Venom, never fall in love, build in it, and benefit from the bliss. I agree. And I used to say this when I was in college back in 2002. I used to tell people I don't like to fall in love because falling in love is like falling. I used to tell people I don't like falling in love because falling in love is like falling into a puddle. It's an accident. So, you know, just as I don't like to say get to know, I like to say grow to know. I don't like to say fall in love. I like to say grow to love, which is very similar to what Venom is talking about. Build on it. Build represents growth. So yeah, don't fall in love, grow to love, grow into the love. You know, everything should represent growth, everything. So other things or other concepts about the prototypical woman uh could see the light of day, you know what I'm saying, in other women that a man encounters, you know what I'm saying? What I mean by this is, let's say he gets around a prospective woman who doesn't prove to be much of a woman. So she was merely a prototype. She was definitely a stillborn type of a project per se, or concept. Yeah, stillborn concept. You know. So basically, this script represents, I won't say necessarily a man's failure, but just more so a man's lesson. He's going to learn from that lesson and take that to the next woman that he runs into, and build on what he's learned previously to make better decisions, to make sure that he's around a more quality woman than the one that he was around last time. So this is the same approach that manufacturers take with their products, devices, merchandises. You know what I'm saying? You learn from previous concepts that failed to see the light of day, but there were some things that could see the light of day, and your next venture that you just apply and kind of make it a little bit better of a product next time. And so that's what it's all about. It's all about, fellas, don't just thinking about running into another woman. Think about running into a better woman. How can you make sure she's better for you? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's like, this work in progress. Think about the last work that you had that did not progress, work in progress, the previous work that did not progress. Now think about this next work, this next concept, this next prototype of a woman that you want to see you two progress more. In some ways, you want her to be more progressive. You know what I'm saying? Not aggressive, so don't get that twisted. But yeah, you just want her to just show that she cares about you more. Like, lady, baby, you like me. Like, yay, just let me know. I want you to like me. Like Marvin Gaye said, I want you to want me too. You know. But yeah, just going back to sort of the things I said, like with some of the concept about the previous prototype could see the light of day with the next woman that a man runs across, the next prospective that he'll make a prototype. He'll apply what he's learned from his previous reject so that the next prototype won't be another failed prototype. Goes back to what a lot of men sometimes say when we say we don't like to make the same mistake twice. Making the same mistake twice kind of sucks. Like fool me once and fool me twice. Yeah, we don't want to keep getting fooled the same way, the same time, all the time. We trying to learn from past mistakes and past females, not to run into the same type moving forward. Another thing about a prototype is that it stimulates one's imagination. So the thing about the prototypical woman, she definitely stimulates a man's imagination. I really have no examples of this, so this can vary from man to man, given how it varies from woman to woman, how she stimulates whatever man she runs into. It's all a different scenario. So I would say that to you fellas, The feminine gender that stimulates your imagination in a positive way, mind you, in a positive way. That's going to make you want to brainstorm a little bit more. Obviously, you're not trying to overthink on things because you want to make sure that this is not too good to be true, because this is that's definitely the case too. And I'm going to touch upon that too good to be true part, okay? Because sometimes you got prototypes that are too good to be true. Then you try to test it in the real world, and guess what happens? That prototype becomes very impractical. But we getting too ahead of ourselves right now. I just kind of want to put that out there because you got some of the feminine gender that get around you fellas, that a lot of them act too good to be true. Some people try to call them a Nawalt or call them a chameleon. I personally like to call them a thespian or someone that has a masquerade. I'll talk about that down the road in a separate video or something about the masquerade versus the chameleon, because I think that false feminine genders, these females that aren't women, I don't really see them as chameleons. I see them more as like thespians pulling off a masquerade. I'll talk about that down the road somewhere, somehow. But see, the other thing that a prototype does is that it paves the way. It paves the way, like a successful prototype. It's like a pioneer. It paves the way instead of being like a pain. So for you ladies, pave the way in that man's life instead of being a pain. Basically, you be a pioneer to that man. Like, there are things you do for that man that he's never had the feminine gender do in his life before. You've seen how he's influenced you in many ways, but you reciprocate that by the way you influence him. Goes back to what I meant earlier when I put out this idea of exaggeration equals motivation equals influence. So you're paving the way in this man's life instead of being a pain, in the way that you're positively influencing him. You know what I'm saying? The other thing that a prototype does is that it tests public opinion. Now, with the times that we live in right now, it couldn't have been a better time for a very feminine type of feminine gender to show up to test public opinion. Yes. So a real woman versus a typical female testing public opinion in regards to this WAP. Okay. So you can say, ladies, for you, y'all can be like, no, she didn't have a wet one. She had a whack one. Her stuff was whack. Okay. That will definitely test public opinion. Let's see what Brown Do Life said. ARC talked about women that would be married for 30 plus years wearing a mask to their husbands. Masquerades. Exactly. A lot of chicks are just faking it to make it. A lot of them are, and they got this all planned out. You got chicks that they kind of see it and plan their life like they plan their life like a man would, especially the chicks that go to the military. They'll say, I'm gonna do my time and do my little tour of duties for a few years. After that, I'm gonna have these kids with this certain type of man. I'm gonna probably have about 3 or 4, and then after that, we're gonna have this house, and then we're gonna have this amount of money saved up. Boom, and then after that, this and that, and this and that, and she'll have everything she had in mind planned out, and it'll be all said and done. And then who knows? Bam! Right after that, she want that divorce. Like, we got what we needed. Especially if, let's say, she didn't necessarily plan a divorce, but her life is so planned out to where she's set. And if she thinks this guy is cheating on her, all she has to do is immediately get this divorce, but it's not affecting her because she planned out her life a certain way without really telling this other guy about it. She had this other mask on her face. She had really this other type of life that she was living, and you see a lot of chicks that do this all the time. A lot of them don't really marry for love. A lot of them pretty much marry because they planned it. It wasn't really love. It was a plan. Yes, exactly. Brown Do Life, the bait and switch. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Real talk. I first learned about that back in the day when I first started checking out a lot of certain topics of this matter that I'm speaking on. Brown Do Life also said, in a live stream once with C Boogie, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, I guess you were talking about the masquerade part that I brought up. Uh, and then you also said Brown do life, even faking sexuality to men they're not attracted to, but using for resources. Scary facts. I mean, a lot of chicks fake orgasms. They do that all the time. You know, that's another story. And then Brown do life. You also said Rom Wills talks about the sexual underworld. The women are in that. Yeah, some women and some females. It all depends, I guess. Kind of sad, kind of unfortunate, but the underworld. But we in the overworld, not the underworld over here. Real talk. Um, but yeah, it's all about the feminine gender testing public opinion. And so there you go, kind of stemming from what Brown Do Life said, because I'm very poetic. So to me, the prototypical woman is not associated with the underworld. She's aware of those type that are in the underworld, but that's not her. Because see, it's all about um, her just being something very novel in this day and age when you don't see a lot of purity in design, like with a lot of cars, like a lot of classic cars like Bugattis and things like the classic Bugattis. There's other cars like Delahaye's and even some old Russian cars. I love old Russian classic cars. Some cars called Tatras, and they are elegant. But when you see them, it's like they're just timeless. So I think with the prototypical woman, she is timeless in that, like the way she tests the public opinion is just the things that she say. Uh, People had to sit back and think about it. Like you get all these feminine genders that aren't trying to be women in men's lives, you get a lot of these chicks to be quiet just by you alone, sweetie, saying things that challenge the way that they're thinking. Like, why don't y'all have a man? Why are y'all fighting against men? But yet you got a lot of guys out there that want to be with y'all. They're even willing to put up with your BS. So why y'all fighting? And then a lot of chicks can't even answer that question. Now, of course, you know, it ain't about a dude dealing with the chicks BS, but it's just, I'm just stating how far things have come along the way to where even now, with all this that is going on between the sexes, you'll still get a guy that'll be like, hey, if there's a way we can work this out, let's do this. Why we fighting? But then you still got some of the feminine genders out there that aren't trying to be women, still trying to say, there ain't no men, where all the good men have gone. Well, sweetie, you blind. That's what's going on. A blind person can see better than you because you're just not trying to look for, you're not trying to recognize the good men per se. You're not trying to recognize it with your own eyesight, you know? Uh, Venom said, the speaker of truth knows that it is a solemn and solo path through single slash divorce, not lonely. Exactly. And then you also said, Venom, they contradict the status quo of mainstream hive mentality. Exactly. You know, the prototypical woman is not trying to be part of the hive. She's not. Oh no, she's not trying to be part of the hive. Not at all. She definitely is the potential Twilight to the Black Knight, to that indifferent type of a gentleman. She's definitely a potential Twilight. So she's not gonna have a lot of friends. No, she's reading books and probably taking baths and eating good. You know, drinking wine. She's just chilling. You know, got her hair wrapped up in a towel, got a robe on. Probably excited to talk to a Black Knight, indifferent type of a gentleman over the phone. They planning on their next rendezvous. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got time for all that stuff. She like, while y'all over there wrestling and hustling and bustling, you know what I'm saying? I can attract a real masculine man, you know. And so with that said, the The prototypical woman also embraces her chaos, meaning her complexities, and learns from it all. Because if you think about a prototype in its raw stages, in its conceptualized stage, it is very chaotic in design starting out, like, because you don't know like how the design is going to be refined. So you got to kind of sometimes just put something out there for the world to kind of get a glimpse of what's to come. And so what I mean by the prototypical woman's chaos in regards to her complexities is more or less like when she has motivated a man a certain way with her positive influences, uh, more or less when he's around her, he gets to know some of her quirks. You know, quirks aren't necessarily a bad thing, but there are definitely uh, quirks about her. You know what I'm saying? Kind of certain little habits, not bad habits, but she's learned from that. But she'll be like, well, I hope this don't like bother you. You know, certain things I like to do. Just little quirks. You know, I can't really think of a lot of examples of quirks, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But that's similar to a prototype product. You know, that prototype product initially has a lot of quirks, but over time these things get refined as that conceptualized prototype starts to get a serial production number, because that product is now being taken very seriously. So ladies, as that man starts to take you very seriously, you'll become more refined to be the way you're supposed to be around him. You know what I'm saying? And let's see what else everybody else been saying. Venom said vibrating on a higher level, vibrating on a higher frequency level, and satisfaction from within until resonating with her mate of the same energetic level. Exactly, that yin and that yang, that true yin and yang, that balance. You know what I'm saying? But this is this is kind of a side note, but it still ties in with what I'm saying in regards to the prototypical woman. Uh, the Black Knight, the indifferent type of a gentleman, um, is a rechiseling of a man to me. Of a man. We're not talking about a male, because I think these guys who have not developed into men, they're just chiseled. There's nothing more. They're kind of a disastrous type of a project. There's really nothing you can do with you. You can't necessarily rechisel a chisel like a chisel that was already messed up. You know what I'm saying? But the rechiseling of a man, from my perspective, it's similar to, like, let's say, you know, you look at a Michelangelo statue and you see that it's been completed, but you also see that it could be buffered out more. The surface could be a little bit smoother than what you see it. You can refine it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I mean by the rechiseling of a man. You kind of just you become smoother, fellas. You become a little sharper, you know, a little smoother, you know what I'm saying? A little more refined. So think about it that way when I just said all that. It's about you reinventing yourself, you know what I'm saying? A learned behavior, just things you learn as you go about how to reinvent yourself. And I challenge all fellas to reinvent yourself. As of now, as we speak, if you have not even thought this year, given the date of this live stream, 2020, to try to have hindsight 2020, reinventing yourself, I encourage you to do that after this live is over with. Or if you're listening to this live, stop listening to this live. Work on ways to reinvent yourself. Write it down on the paper, just a few things, and then come back and listen to the rest of this live stream. But yeah, only a few will gravitate towards this type of a man, though. And one of those few people is the prototype woman. You know, she reflects his reinvention. You know what I'm saying? In many ways, that she starts to reflect his vision, literally. She's not a refraction. You know, a refraction is basically If I'm not mistaken, it's a distorted reflection. I think that's what a refraction is, but we're not talking about a distorted reflection. We're talking about a pure reflection. No cracked mirrors, no cracked windows, none of that. No distortions, just a pure reflection. So that's the thing, ladies. When you meet a refined type of a man, you want to be his reflection. You want to compliment him. You want it to be smooth and copacetic with him at all times. And I mean at all times, you know. Uh the other thing is about the Black Knight type of a man amongst the prototype woman. He's not abusive. So ladies, that's the other thing. Like with the prototype woman, she knows that she's being tested. She's not being abused. Okay. And if you listen to my previous live stream, you would know what I mean by test. Okay. So meaning like just trying to refine her too in her femininity. So, the prototype woman doesn't see a real masculine man as abusive. Like she actually welcomes that because that's something that she always wanted from a man, whether she had a father or not, but she wanted that sense of a masculine fatherly presence around her like that. So yeah, it's a man's order, so that's the thing, order versus abuse, and I'm gonna talk more about this, but a lot of these females that aren't women, they confuse order with abuse. They're not the same thing. Now, let's get to some of the basic stuff. Okay. The prototype woman can cook, you know, but my question would be, now, can she cook, clean, or tend to a garden, or tend to the man that's in her life? For example, you tend to his wounds, his illness. You make sure that he's in good health through sickness and health, huh? You hold it down for him, sweetie, you know? But you got a lot of these females that are women. Most of them say, if he's not my husband, then I don't play housewife to boyfriends. I don't play housewife. I don't do that to boyfriends. Who said that he was your boyfriend, sweetie? That's what you said. You know? That's what you said. First of all, I never liked the boyfriend girlfriend thing. That's high school to me. Second of all, you know, why like boys instead of men? So if a boyfriend is senseless in many ways, just think about the idea of a man friend. See how that goes? A boyfriend and a man friend. It just doesn't sound right. Let alone calling a man your boyfriend. Fellas, in many ways, when she calls you her boyfriend, she does not see you anything beyond a boy and a friend. Her boy and a friend. That's all she sees you as. She sees you as a boy and a friend. Nothing beyond that when she says boyfriend. Now, going back to my original points here. But before I do that, let's see what else everybody else has said. Uh, Pretty much, oh, looks like, oh, nobody said nothing yet. Okay, keep going here. Um, Now, overall, with my original points, I just really wanted to point out is, as y'all can see, with the prototype woman, she's definitely the type that wants to be taken seriously. Okay, and she's gonna be there. She's the type that if fellas, if you tell her, look, I ain't going nowhere, and the only way this is not going to work is if you leave, she's going to be the type to say, well, I don't plan on going anywhere. She's going to be real with you. And I think that's really the key, is knowing that you're around somebody that's not trying to go anywhere. And y'all mean that, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people who say what they don't mean, and they don't mean what they really say. But I think that overall, when you see that a person does not keep their word, I think that's the person that you stay far away from. Words are very important. And back in the days when we didn't have all this technology, all we had was somebody's word. So I'd say let's bring some of that old stuff into the present. Think about somebody's word. They said they was going to do this. but they did not do that. They did not do that at all. Okay. I'd keep that in mind. Now, people, things ain't perfect, but somebody should make up for that, right? People should be able to make up for things that they fell short on, you know what I'm saying? But people don't do that, because a lot of folk, they don't like the finger pointed or they don't like to be held accountable. Let's see what Venom said. Sex is biblical marriage, and they contradict themselves in their own confusion. Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. That's why I've been like trying to talk to these dudes that be like on that pump and dump stuff. And I'm like, every chick you have sex with, you're married to. I'm just saying, so a lot of folks don't think about all these ties. You brought up ties just now, Venom. You said facts and or sever the tie in or sever the ties that bind. And see, that's the thing. We talk about soulmate, soul ties. We talk about twin flames. We talk about all this stuff. But we're not realizing that a lot of folk got a lot of things that they're still tied to. Now, with the prototype woman, she wants to be tied to the tester, the man that is going to invest in her, because a concept that becomes a prototype, it requires a lot of investment to be taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? So I would say the prototype woman, once she is accepted and is taken seriously like that, she's not trying to be having old ties. Okay, now some things from her past could help her. That's if those things from her past are positive. If she has an illustrious history, you know what I'm saying? But if her history has been very disastrous, well, we just gonna get this little paper shredder, or we gonna get some lighter fluid and we're gonna set this thing on fire. We're gonna start over, baby. We're gonna start over with you bare bones. Okay. You're gonna be bare bones. We're gonna start over with you bare bones. But see, the prototypical woman, no matter what, nevertheless, she does not mind because she's just glad that a man has her in mind. With all that said, my question is, how will a man know if and so I guess to some of these feminine genders out here, maybe some of these feminine genders that aren't like women, I don't know. Before I get to that, hold up. Hey, what's good for hire? Much blessings. But yeah, with all that said, my question is maybe to some of these feminine genders, who knows? The ones that want to question things, who knows? How will a man know if you're wifeable if you aren't showing him that you are wifeable? My short answer to this is she's not going to show him anything because she's already subjected him instead, probably. She subjected him instead of the other way around. She's supposed to be subjected. You know what I'm saying? Basically, she's conceptualizing him. And do we not see this taking place? Especially you get all these chicks that get these low vibrational dudes. They see these dudes as like projects. They conceptualize the type of guy they want to be with. They don't want a man to conceptualize them. They want to conceptualize a man. And to me, it's not feminine when the feminine gender per se that's being less feminine tries to put herself in the masculine position, but so you got that a lot. So that's why what they say, like with a man that's complete already, a lot of the feminine genders out here don't like a man that's complete, meaning a man that he's good on his own. He probably knows how to cook and clean better than her. He's stable, or his mind is stable, because stable ain't necessarily how much money you got in your pocket. Stable is in your state of mind and you know how to get through life. So if you just happen to have a roof over your head to represent that, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, that's cool. I've seen homeless people that are wiser than rich people. Okay, so that's nothing. But it's all about the fact that This man is complete spiritually, internally, mentally. And so she's jealous of that because she knows she can't control that type of man. She wants to conceptualize a man. She wants a man to be in subjection to her because she's not being like a real woman. You know what I'm saying? The other day, I think it was on somebody's IG. This one masculine type of chick flipped over her car. So what does she do? She gets out the car in her 6-inch stilettos. I told y'all in the previous live stream I do not like 6-inch stilettos. But she was in her 6-inch stilettos, and she was trying to push her car back on this she was trying to push the car back upright. And yeah, she got some strength, I'll tell you that much. But see, it was very unattractive. And I'm like, look, guess you weren't that strong enough to push the car upright, were you? Now, try to say this real fast, and I probably can't. 6-inch stilettos, 6-inch stilettos. Try saying that. Try to repeat that real fast. I'm just messing with y'all. Let's see what Venom said. Through time, vetting, and shown proof of consistency of keeping their word and focus on contributing to his life in a positive manner. Exactly. Exactly. For Hyatt said, I hope she's okay. Dang. I hope so too. I mean, she seemed okay. She was just tripping that her car was flipped on the other side. It was flipped on the side, and she was kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I thought you were strong and independent. You should know what you got to do. But see, the prototype woman ain't really trying to put herself in a situation where she's out late at night wearing some tight dresses and 6-inch stilettos, and to where her car flips over on its side, and then she tries to push it upright and then screams out, I don't know what to do. Because that's what took place. You know, this chick was out late at night wearing those skimpy clothes, trying to live her best life, and look at the situation she got herself in, you know? So I still got a little bit more time. I got 52 more minutes. I usually like to kind of cap out at an hour or so. So, you know, I got some more time for y'all. I'm gonna give y'all some more time tonight. How about that? I got y'all. You know, I'm gonna actually do another live stream to this one. There was so more I still had to talk about, but I just kind of ended here. But there's some more I can lead to let y'all get a sneak peek, because I didn't think I would continue on with this, but there's so much that I need to talk about. So overall, you know, what I've done is just giving y'all an idea of what a prototype woman is like when things are going good, when she's trying to progress, you know, when things are going well. And of course, I've kind of sort of told y'all, I've sort of let y'all know what it's like if the prototype doesn't go as planned, sort of, but I haven't really told y'all a lot of what it's like for a prototype to not work out. Or let's say if the prototype didn't work out, let's say if that prototype was outdated. So I'm going to talk about that in the next live stream. Okay. I'm going to talk about that in the next live stream. Haven't decided. I think it'll be a couple of days from now. Y'all know by now, probably I like to have a few breathers in between, because I didn't realize a lot of people would actually like to attend to my live streams. But I'm so like, I'm speechless. I'm humbled. I appreciate y'all just wanting to be here to listen to me. This is like awesome. I don't know what else to say. I'm very humble, and it's just, I have nothing but gratitude for y'all even stopping by, and even those listening to this on the replay. But let's see what Venom just said. And then Brown Do Life said she's probably a butch, a lesbian. Yeah, dyke. Yeah, definitely masculine. Yeah, that's true, Brown Do Life. And there's nothing against the rainbow community. I'm really speaking out towards these feminine genders that try to come off looking like a woman, but deep down inside, they're really masculine. So I'm not necessarily talking about someone that's totally changed their sexual orientation. I'm not talking about those people. So, you know, I got to put that disclaimer out there. You know how they be trying to flag stuff. So yeah, nothing against the rainbow community at all. I ain't talking about that. Venom said, or seeking attention from others besides her man. Oh man, yeah. Ooh, that's another rabbit hole right there, man. And see, because you would think with the prototype, it is truly connected to the tester of that prototype, the designer. Okay, you got the tester and the designer. But see, amongst the feminine and the masculine ladies, you being in your prototype stage, becoming a prospective woman and ending up a Twilight to the Black Knight and different type of a guy, him being the gentleman that he is. Check this out. That man in your life, he's the designer, he's the engineer, he's the tester. He's all of that in one. Okay. So that's why oh man, it bugs me when you get these feminine genders that don't understand. Like when you meet a man of great renown and you're going to insult his intelligence. I'm pretty sure you've been through that a lot, fellas, especially you, Venom. You like the OG, so I'm pretty sure you had a lot of chicks that try to insult your intelligence. Like, look, I've been around. Like, I'm actually, I kind of know what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a man, I know what I'm talking about, sweetie. It ain't about age. So you trying to make me like equal to you. You're not seeing that as a man, I have my experiences as being a man, and I'm very experienced at being a man. I think I kind of know what I'm talking about. Oh, and we got someone new up in the building. What's good, Nappy? No pun intended, obviously, but yeah, you said why do single people have relationship advice? That's a great question. It's very much an oxymoron. They should be giving out relationship experience, not relationship advice, but that's here nor there, you know. So let's see what else Venom said. Uh Hear from you soon, and I hope to be available to absorb and contribute to the knowledge share. Facts, man. We got to do a collab together, man. I had to hit you up on the email, man. We could chop it up or something. I'll hit you up. We definitely got a collab. Most definitely. Yeah, exactly, Nappy. It's about showing your testimony. It's about the testimony. That's what it comes down to. It's about the testimonies. And that's what I'm definitely all about here at this channel. It's all about testimonies. Real talk. Yeah, for hire. A lot of YouTubers like that. You said how to get married, but they're single. Yeah, it's like, and most of them are divorcees. Nothing against a divorcee, but how come you can't talk about what you had to go through in regards to how you ended up divorcing, what people can learn from your divorce? That's what we're trying to get at. That's what I would like to know. But then, are you like specifically talking to me? Show my ladies? You asking me to show my ladies? No, we're not doing that, man. You asked me kind of a personal question there, but I'm gonna let that one slide, man. I do have moderators here, so hopefully you just joking, but we gonna leave it at that. You said Venom, I'm twice divorced due to parasites and chameleons. I have high standards and plenty experience with the monk lifestyle, a young ladies man and a spiritually developed man. Boom, booyah. Faith without works are dead. Yeah, as it is written. As is written. Yep. I hear you, Brown Do Life. He's asking for my receipts. That's a very personal question though, but we gonna leave it at that because that's not what this live stream is all about. It's all about motivating people and even in many ways educating people. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna leave it at that for now. Let me see that. Let me see. We was gonna touch upon sort of the next topic of the outdated prototypes. I was going to talk on some things and basically just to give y'all kind of a preview of what I'm going to be talking about in probably a few days is more so we basically going to be talking about how sometimes the prototype can be outdated or the prototype can actually fail. there's sometimes that happens too, and I think we need to talk about that. So you kind of can see how the prototype can progress. You know what I'm saying? You can see that, and I've brought that up in many different ways so far. But we need to talk about also how it also can how it also can fail. Brown to Life said, haters always asking the dating coaches, haters always asking the dating coaches for the receipts. I'm not even a dating coach. So like I said, I don't even know what that was all about. Like I said, we gonna keep it copacetic and keep it moving and grooving for sure. Like I said, man, I got y'all, got y'all mods in here, hopefully they ain't never gonna get like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of, I'm cool with everybody. Well, I don't only like to say that term. I'm cool with everybody. But y'all know me, man. I'm copacetic. You know what I'm saying? I like to keep it moving in a positive way. You know what I'm talking about? What's good, MGTOW in the wind? Good to see you up in the building, fam. Uh, Let me see. For hire, she said, relationships could go wrong because you deal with the wrong person, lack of cooperation, etc. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and cooperation is one of the levels of submission that I talk about. You know, because I got the four different aspects of submission. You got admission, then from admission you got surrender, then from surrender you get cooperation, and then finally beyond cooperation is subjection. And I brought up subjection earlier in this live stream. Subjection is the highest form of submission, but most people can barely have cooperation. So that's for another story altogether. Uh, all right, on Brown Do Life. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Uh, but yeah, anybody got any other questions? Because we had our mark here. Venom said, also at times great people are not compatible. Exactly, because and in my thoughts on compatibility is, we like to see that usually when people say, are you compatible, that means that are you a match for that person. But to me, compatibility is not being a match for that person. Compatibility is about matching to that person. So it's something y'all work on. Y'all might not have a lot of things in common. Y'all might not always even see eye to eye, but we're going to work on being like-minded. So compatibility is based on effort. You know what I'm saying? So yes, some great people just did not want to put forth great effort to make something great of their situation. I can see that. Okay. Uh, Farhaya said, I'm submissive when I trust the guy and I like him. That means a lot. So yeah, it goes back to what I said in the previous live stream of this type of the prototype woman. How you don't test the man, you trust the man. So you got a lot of the feminine genders out here. They think that getting with a guy is about testing him. No, it's about you just basically trusting him, and that comes naturally. All this submission and all that comes natural. And yeah, like with what Venom also said, the spiritual, the mental, the physical, all this is natural. This all should come naturally. Venom also said, I've known quite a few good ladies, and till this day, they profess love of my discipline, masculinity, and truthful ways. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Because that's what's needed out here in this society. That's what's needed. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that a lot of people don't like to talk about. Uh, all right. All right, I'm gonna give y'all some more minutes. I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes. I might as well go in. I'm starting to see a few more people watching this live. So all right, all right. Let me get a sip. Let me get a sip. Hold up. Let me mute the mic. I'm gonna give y'all about like at least 10 more minutes or so. Hold up. But yeah, it's good to see everybody else, seeing people come in and out. I see folk in the clouds here and there. I don't know. It don't matter, but I'm glad that I've been seeing some people come in and out. It's a blessing. Uh, but yeah, think about it. First of all, I don't know if there's two types of bad prototypes. Okay. Um, I guess, um, the previous prototype, the positive prototype, I guess I would label that a progressive prototype. You know, it's in the progressing stages. um and then let me see. And so what I'm talking about now is there are actually two types of negative prototypes. One is what I would call an outdated prototype, and then the second one is what I would call a failed prototype. Okay, so I might not get to the failed prototype today. I might get to that another day. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in a couple of days from now. Excuse me, y'all. But we can talk a little bit more about this outdated prototype. I could talk a little bit about that right now. So one thing about an outdated prototype, usually the word stillborn is attached to the outdated prototype. Okay. Yeah, usually the word stillborn is attached to that. Um, so think about it. If that feminine gender was a stillborn, she was someone that got around you fellas, and she just was like halfway through, like you know, y'all were kind of y'all were vibing together good, right? But then out of the blue, everything just kind of fell apart. Just all of a sudden, like, you know, it seems like at the beginning stages. So it goes back to what I said earlier that I said I would possibly touch upon later in this live stream. When you get around somebody that is too good to be true, starting out, okay, everything seemed good in the conceptualization, but you know, things just kind of fell apart. Now, however, here's where the stillborn comes into play, you know, because we're talking about the outdated prototype aspect of this. I think the stillborn also applies to the failed prototype aspect of this too, but we'll talk about that a little later. But in regards to the stillborn having to represent the outdated prototype aspect of things, is when you have uh Brown Do Life said, love bombing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. When you have a chick that's love bombing all the time, you know what I'm saying? Now, love bombing is great if she's showing that on a consistent basis, especially with her actions. Okay, then that's fine. But when she's like inconsistent, then that's when you can say, oh, it was just a love bomb. You know, she's not consistent. You know what I'm saying? Uh, But yeah, the stillborn aspect is when she thinks those same love bombs will still work to get you back around her, but yet y'all already fell apart. You know, we've already fell apart. You know, we already fell apart. So you trying to come back to me? You left me. You know, you said it wasn't gonna work, but you trying to go back to what brought us together. But it's like, you know, there's a lot of things that happened after we got together. Like that was like what you did. Like, and I'm not trying to blame you, but you wanted to leave. You know what I'm saying? You left. So that's the stillborn in regards to the outdated prototype part. Okay. Another thing that represents an outdated prototype. It can happen like when a prototype becomes impractical. So let's say there was something about that prototype that, you know, it worked 5 years ago when that prototype was being made in its conceptualized form. But fast forward now, 5 years later, those things don't work no more. It's outdated. So let's say the impractical aspect of what she did versus the things that she tried to do to get you, and you realize, like, you know, baby, that's not enough to keep me. Let's say there's just certain habits of hers, you know, like time you've evolved as a man, and you're like, baby, like I like you to do these things for me, and I like you to do that for me. I don't like it when you talk this way or when you talk like that. Like, you know, the chicks that cuss like a sailor, okay, you make yourself very impractical. I'm sorry. You know, I want you to be practical with your communication, you know, things like that. So she starts to become very impractical. A lot of the things that worked for her to get a guy a few years ago, it doesn't work now. Sorry, it just doesn't work no more. So yes, twerking might not help you get a guy 5 years from now. Sorry. Uh, let's see what somebody else. Okay, Venom said they are emotionally scarred beyond assistance due to traumatic experiences earlier in life, dealing with soulless individuals who have not empathy. That's facts. That's facts. Okay, and then Brown Dude talked about the dark triad traits. Yep. Uh Venom said some thirst for love but are only capable of lust when shown love. Whew. Oh man, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. Oh, you don't like cusses either, Brown Dude Life? That's what's up, man. That makes the two of us. Real talk. Um, but yeah. Um, Let me see. There's something else I wanted to bring up. Um, okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Another thing about an outdated prototype. Let's say everything about that outdated prototype, it just never comes to fruition. So let's think about this in regards to the feminine gender. A lot of things that she wanted to have in mind, like what she wanted to do for you fellas, it never came to fruition. Now she tries to bring it up again, and y'all haven't been around each other, but you like, baby, I don't even need all that no more. Like that ain't what I need right now. You know, like what you talking about right now, what you trying to do around me as a, you trying to be a certain woman in my life. Like, that ain't what I need right now. You know, I don't even like to argue. I don't even like all that fuss, and I don't do all that back and forth like that. Oh, you like to do makeup sex? No, baby, I'm sorry. Like, no, that ain't what I need right now. Maybe back then I liked that you said you would comfort me in certain ways, but no, I've matured more. That ain't what I need right now. See, you said you was gonna do a lot of things for me, but you never did it. You know what I'm saying? So you just outdated to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, fellas, avoid the chick that was gonna do all these things with you. She talking about she was gonna plan on doing this with you, and she would like to travel with you to this place, or cook for you this type of meal, or what I'm saying, whatever the case is. Okay, that never came to fruition. You're outdated to me. Now that don't even matter. Like I don't even think I would be even attracted to you anymore than what I don't even feel that. I just don't. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Everything about her just never came to fruition. She brought it on herself. Now, here's something that's interesting. Okay. Now think about this with a prototype that is outdated, too outlandish at times. Think about that, because some prototypes are too outlandish at times. But in regards to the feminine gender, this meaning in the case that she's too far off her rockers, or she became too complex. But some of this is due to her complex. So she just became more complicated with her thoughts, to where like it wasn't like she was like a mysterious individual. She's just a very confused individual, and now you're to the point of like you don't even know what she's talking about. She's not trying to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? And she just becomes like, to where now you just see her in a different space. Now let's talk about the outdated part. The outdated part could be that she still relates to a lot of things that happened many years ago, and that makes her mind just so jacked up. Let's say you two have some issues. Okay, she's still bringing up stuff that happened many years ago. You've forgiven her of things, but she has not forgiven you. So she's still, in her mind, she still goes back to 2004. She made herself outdated. You know what I'm saying? She's too far off her rockers, and it's due to her complex. She's made her mind too complex. Now, a lot of things that make her outdated, it's similar to what I said earlier, as far as a lot of things she said doesn't come to fruition. But what I'm going to say next is she doesn't do everything she said. It sort of sounds similar, but it's not the same. Now, what I mean is, because earlier I was just talking about like things she would like to do for you, do with you per se, but what I mean by she doesn't do what she said is it could be personal things like that she had in mind, like personal things you wanted her to do, that was going to benefit her, help her to be better. It could be something as simple as you always wanted her to make a certain type of stroganoff. She never made it. But now all of a sudden, she wants to make it for you. But y'all not together now. She outdated herself. Now you're like, I'm not really feeling that. Like, I'm not really a stroganoff person these days now. I probably like stir fry. Like, you've never really done what you said you were going to do anyway. And things that you told me that you would like to do around me, given how I told you I live my life, it just never came to fruition. It's just outdated. Okay, it's outdated. Like, I'm in a different time frame now. I'm in a different type of time, and like I see you as someone I knew many years ago or whatever, and what we had, but you walked away from that, and I just don't see the same. Like, it's just what we have is outdated. And fellas, I hope that you make a chick like that outdated. You don't suffer from one-itis. Do not get one-itis. Do not get infected with one-itis. Yes, a chick that wants to leave you like that, you have to put her in the back burner. You have to put her in far behind your rearview mirrors to where she becomes outdated to you. You know what I'm saying? You don't even remember the way she used to cook for you no more. You don't even remember the way she used to kiss you no more. You know? And she said she was going to be more intimate with you. Like, she said she was going to be there and really be concerned for you more. Like, that don't even matter for you no more, because she never really did that back in the day. Now she's just living with regret at this point. Okay, let's see what everybody else been saying. Brown Do Life said, making false promises. Yep, she makes a lot of false promises. Venom said, the biggest problem with modern relationships is men only using their physical eyes and ladies who allow outsider influences in, i.e., or example, her family, friends, and thirsty males give her that influence. Facts, facts. Uh, and Brown Do Life said, Manosphere content creators recommend spinning plates, aka playing the field. Yeah, well, they players. I'm not a player. You know what I mean? But that's what they do. And yeah, I don't recommend the playing the field part. But yeah, I get that's what a lot of them do. A lot of them promote pump and dump and all that stuff. Yeah, they can. Yeah, I don't believe a man should do that. I think, like, it's similar to what Venom talks about. I think every guy has to have a certain sense of monk within him. You know what I'm saying? And this doesn't necessarily mean you're a MGTOW, but I think to the core there has to be a certain type of a monk within a man. Even the Black Knight type of a man has a certain realm of monk within him. There's certain things he just knows he needs to abstain from at this time, because overall, he sees that if you got some of these feminine genders that you don't see a guarantee in, that there's really a spiritual issue going on out there. And like it says in the word, as this written, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal but almighty, for the pulling down of strongholds. So that almighty means the spiritual aspect. This is spiritual warfare going on out here. So you got to get in monk mode sometimes when things are out of your control, and you see that with a lot of the feminine genders, there ain't no guarantee. Well, one thing is guaranteed: your peace. Okay, your peace. So that's guaranteed. So next time when you do get around the feminine gender, she has to be peaceful around you, or else peace out. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Brown Do Life said also, Rom Wills has videos talking about finding a tribe of women that like a man. Exactly, because a lot of them are still in their primal state. And so that's why I'm trying to get the feminine gender over here to understand, even with this idea of being a prototypical woman that is trying to work on being a twilight. A prototype woman is basically a twilight, or she's training to be a twilight to a Black Knight type of a man. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to work on being more primal with the man. Because ladies, you might not be tribal, but you can work on being primal, because tribal is primal. So, you just get back to these earlier stages of where the feminine is just attracted to the masculine from a very bare bones approach. You know what I'm saying? You just want a man that smells good around you, like, meaning like you just like the way he smells. I mean, not that you're like expecting him to smell a certain way. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But it has to get back to that, in my opinion. It has to get back to this, because that's what's missing in this society right now, with all this back and forth with the sexes, you know, both the feminine and the masculine, they forgot to just look at each other and just embrace each other's presence and company. Unfortunately, there's a lot of wicked manipulations amongst each other, and that's what's very unfortunate, you know. Um, Let me see what else we got to talk about today. You know what, y'all? I might actually be able to finish everything I need to finish with this particular live stream today. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up today. How about that? Uh so but let's keep going though. Where was I at with this? Let me try to yeah, so like I said with the prospective prototype, she actually tests the public opinion. You know what I'm saying? But the thing with the outdated prototype, she started to care about the public opinion. So kind of like similar to certain prototypes that never get put into production, the public opinion kind of stopped certain prototypes from progressing. Maybe some people thought that prototype would end up dangerous or too unstable, too impractical for some reason. So the question of it became more apparent. So guess what? The manufacturer just decided, I guess we can't put this in production. So the outdated aspect of this is just this idea that, you know, maybe there were things that now she's looking back on, kind of like you look back on a prototype, you realize like, there was actually things about the prototype that weren't bad. Had it been able to come out at the time it did, it wasn't as bad as we thought. But now it's like there's really no point now because, like, had we been able to do what we had to do with this prototype back then and not let the public opinion get to us, there's no telling how far we could have went with this particular prototype. So it's like now, like, sweetie, you talking about there's things you could have did for me back then, but you didn't do it. Just think about what would have happened had you not left, or had you did this and had you did that. There's no telling. We probably would have been having a family right now, but we would never know that because you left. You left. You outdated yourself. Now you're trying to come back, trying to see if we can make this work, but you left. Things have changed since you left, sweetie. It's not the same because you cared a lot about what everybody said. Like, everybody brought up earlier, like with you cared about what your family said. You cared about what your friends and thirsty beta males said, or just thirsty males in general. You cared about what they said. You didn't care about what I said. You care about it now, but it's outdated because I wanted you to care about what I said back then, but you didn't want to care about what I said back then. You didn't want to care. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. Some things don't meet production. Some prototypes don't make it to production due to the production not meeting the regulations. It just doesn't meet the standards. Oh, doesn't meet the standards. Fellas, she did not meet the standards. She did not meet the regulations. She didn't want to be regulated. Ooh, she did not want to be regulated. So there you go. That makes her outdated just from the simple fact that when you think about this, a lot of what she thinks makes her a woman. No, sweetie, like the man actually is trying to show you how to be a woman to him. See, that's what a lot of the feminine gender don't understand. It's not about you being a woman just solely on what you think being a woman is. It's about you being a woman based on the way you're supposed to be a woman around a man. A woman is a womb of a man. So she's still outdated in regards to what she thought many years ago about what it was supposed to be like to be around a man. But he like, no, this is the way I wanted you to be. But you didn't want to meet those regulations. And you're still thinking that's supposed to work to be around me, and it don't. And you wonder why you still outdated. You still thinking the way you think it's going to work to be around a man. But where has it gotten you? You're still single, are you? You're still single. And I hope you don't have babies by different men. So nothing against the feminine genders that have been through those situations before, but you learned from those situations. I'm not talking about you type of ladies. I'm talking about the ones that are still hard-headed and they hitting the wall hard-headed. You know what I'm talking about? Let me see something. Venom said, quality over quantity is a personal responsibility for men of renown, monks, and exceptional men. I agree. That's facts. And you know, you got a lot of guys who don't even think about that. Oh man, they don't think about quality over quantity, especially in regards to the feminine gender. I'd say with the bunch of ladies you got, fellas, you should only have a few of them, not a slew of them. But no, you can't tell that to a lot of these guys out here. No, you can't. You can't. Venom said, the riches of a man are in his mind, heart, and word, not the amount of currency in his pocket. But society has lied to the ladies and chaos ensues. Facts. Facts. Um, Now, as I've said before in different videos and live streams, you know, female nature is ungodly, but woman nature is godly because woman nature and female nature are not the same thing. Woman nature is primal, whereas female nature is artificial. It has been further activated due to this society. Okay. I'm a poet, so sometimes I gotta kind of repeat certain things and you know, just kind of let it flow a certain way, cope aesthetically. Um, Now, the thing is that with a progressive prototype, as I said previously, she embraces her chaos and her complexities. She embraces her chaos and her complexities, and she learns from it all. Whereas an outdated prototype, she embraced her chaos, but she never learned from it. She's still thinking that she knows what she's doing. She's still going back to the old days, thinking that those ways will work. And little does she know, baby girl, boo boo, those things don't work. Those things don't work. So, you know, she just hasn't learned. She's still hard headed, as I said. So, also, unlike the progressive prototype, you know, uh, the progressive prototype, as I said earlier, she paves the way and she's not a pain to a man. Whereas an outdated prototype, she was a pain instead of paving the way. You know, so she's the type that's basically an outdated prototype, never progressed. So she's not progressive. She's kind of a burden to a man. She holds a man back. For every step he tries to take forward, she's still 7,000 steps backwards. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a pain to a man. I can't even move forward with you. You procrastinate a lot, sweetie. I try to get you to do things and you just procrastinate. You keep like talking about what you could have did last year. Okay, that's last year. We talking about this year, and you still haven't done this stuff. And then she get mad at you because you told her that. Like you're not supposed to tell her these things. Not like you're not supposed to tell her that she's a procrastinator. Okay, a procrastinator is an outdated individual. Okay, now we all procrastinate to a certain extent. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But you got chronic procrastinators. Okay, the outdated prototype woman is an outdated. She's a chronic procrastinator. You know. Now she's definitely not a real woman yet. She's a prototype. You know, she's still basically a female, and you're trying to work her into this woman. She's a prototype, but she procrastinates to develop herself into that full womanhood, that femininity. You know what I'm saying? She won't even do nothing as simple as just try to stay healthy, stay in shape, or get in shape. You know what I'm saying? Just stay looking nice when she's around you, fellas. And you just get tired of that. You're like, you know what, man, I ain't got time for all this, man. I mean, what happened when you was like looking like you actually like to, well, what happened to that flower dress? What happened to the flower in your hair? What happened to all that? Like you're just stuck in this place. Now, if it's a depression, I wish I could help, but you're not telling me what's going on. So now I'm leaving with questions because I don't know what to do. You're not telling me what's wrong with you, but you're stuck in this state. Okay, you're stillborn. You're stillborn. Now here's the thing, and this is something I want fellas to also realize: a man's masculinity alone can't keep her around. You know what I'm saying? A man's masculinity alone won't keep her around. Now, you wonder what does keep her around. Now, you may have some folk that might be like, well, it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing, but it's not what you think it is. Because some people ultimately like to say the higher power. No, no, no. Here's what keeps her around. Since a man's masculinity is not enough to keep her around, she must present her femininity. So there you go. Her femininity is the thing that's going to keep her around. A man presents his masculinity, she must reciprocate her femininity. So ladies, you might have, I don't know, you might know somebody, or maybe it's you, I don't know, but you might be like, well, we not clicking, well, we not clicking because, sweetie, maybe you not ticking. There's something you have to do. If he's being the man that he has to be, you have to make sure that you're being the woman that you have to be. And so with that said, the creator has given us the tools. A lot of people just like to put this thing on the higher power, like, yo, it's what, if God put us together, can no man put us asunder? Well, he's given us the tools to stay together. We can't just solely put it on him. He put us together, but he gave us the tools to stay together. See how that goes? Now, the man has his tools with his masculinity. So, sweetie, you need to complement that with your femininity. I'm not saying you necessarily have to have tools of your own, but you do have to have materials. You do have to have substance. This idea of what wife material is. See, my thing is, it's not that your wife materials, but you have the wife materials. Keep that in mind. Okay, Venom said, proper planning prevents poor performance, but a hard-headed woman will sabotage the efforts of even a great leader, and envy and spite. Yep, that's facts. Charlotte Swan said the other Ray J, it sounds like she is depressed if she was gaining weight and procrastinating. Yeah, exactly. So it goes back to that it goes back to this dark realm, like, maybe there's just things that she's not talking about, and she's not letting the man know. And it's like he's trying to talk to her, but she's still stuck in that place. So that man is left wondering, like, I don't know what to do. Like, and now he's depressed because there's nothing he can do. Like I said, it's his masculinity is not enough to keep her around. So that's why I just can't stand some of these red pill channels per se. I don't know what they are. I don't know. Some of these masculine or alpha channels. I don't know. Whatever you want to call them. I'm not going to necessarily say MGTOW, because MGTOW, they kind of, they don't want to be bothered with a lot of the false femininity that's out there. Notice I said false femininity. Okay. But this idea that, you should be a man around her, and that's going to keep her in line, that's going to keep her in check, man. Man, that's come on, man. No, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. Okay. Sometimes even you as a man ain't enough to keep her around. That's something she got to do. But maybe sometimes she can't do that because there's things that are going on within her that she doesn't know how to let out. She's fighting her own demons, as they would say. Once again, this goes back to spiritual, but not in the way that everybody thinks. You can't just put all this on a higher power and expect for that to work out, and that's how it's going to turn out. No, we speak on a higher power. The higher power has given us everything that we need on this planet and within us and within our spirit to deal with a lot of our endeavors. But yes, you have some people who they're fighting their demons, and there's probably nothing you could do about it. So yes, the flip side is also true. Ladies, your femininity is not enough to keep a man around either. He has to present his masculinity. But see, masculine is progressive and femininity is passive. Okay. So and that's why with the prototype woman, her being progressive, she's trying to be closer to the man. She's trying to be a Twilight eventually. Whereas with the outdated prototype, she's pretty much stuck. Her mind has frozen. You know what I'm saying? She's turning herself into stone. And fellas, if you don't get out this situation, she gonna make you pretty much stone. You know what I'm saying? Stone cold in some ways. Like you're just not gonna know what to do. I'm not saying you're gonna end up an angry individual, but you're gonna end up like almost paralyzed, like there was nothing I could do. But men usually initiate this balance though. That's where this whole idea of progression comes from. So ladies, it's very rare. It's very rare, ladies, that when you present your femininity, that you don't get back a man's masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not the way it goes. A man always initiates the balance of the yin and the yang. But I guess you can see that, yes, there's been a growing trend of underdeveloped guys who, even when they see femininity in front of them, they just, I don't know, they just kind of, you don't hear from them no more. It's crazy. It's sad. But Venom said that's where trust, understanding, and communication and security compensate. It compensates to secure the bond. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. Yes, indeed. And of course, with my lingo, when I say bond, it usually represents a manipulation, and I don't believe in manipulation. However, certain bonds do take place just because of this society that we live in. A man has to somewhat form a bond, or kind of, you got to kind of deconstruct something and then reconstruct it just because of the society that we live in. And that develops the bond right there. Just that initial, not like a negative manipulation, sort of a, kind of, she has to be broken apart to be put back together again sometimes. And the ideal prototype woman doesn't mind going through that process if that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there should be, to me, in my opinion, because we talk about this outdated part, so we're talking about time, right? To me, there should be a fine for wasting somebody's time. So to me, there should be a wasting time fine. You know what I'm saying? I think a female that's not a woman in a man's life that wastes a man's time is criminal. She probably can't be put in jail, but she should be fined $100 a day. That's better than $100 an hour like you would get from the mechanic. I'm just saying, you got a lot of these chicks out here that waste a man's time, and you outdate yourself. You do all this and you say all this stuff, but you don't really reciprocate any of that, and you waste a man's time. $100 a day for every day that you've wasted a man's time. And some men can count many days that she's wasted his time. And sometimes it catches a man off guard, because a man in his rightful frame means well, because male nature is actually godly. It actually is, versus female nature that is ungodly. And woman nature is also godly because she's following after male nature, which is godly. See, putting all that together, so a man in his rightful heart wants to be right. He wants things to be right. But you got a lot of these feminine genders that are in the wrong, and they be deceiving men, or they don't stick around a man, they leave him. You know what I'm saying? But I guess to lightly put, I've kind of talked about the outdated prototype. Last but not least, which is not a lot of information left, but enough to kind of wrap up this live stream, we'll talk about the failed prototype. Let me get a sip here, y'all. All right. Back up in the building, back up in the building. Let me see. Venom said, use it well and never fear the truth. It hurts, but teaches you to grow. Exactly. Um, so this idea of a failed prototype is sort of similar to an outdated prototype, but pretty much failed per se, or fallen is pretty straightforward. That's not too much to explain about it. But one thing I will say is, with all this talks of sex and everybody wanting to, just, I don't know, it's crazy. As I said, I did my video titled Sex is Marriage because a lot of people don't really understand what sex really is. Now, see, I tell a lot of these guys out here that just want to get in the sack with a chick. I'm like, was all that worth it? Is she still there? After you had sex with her, is she still there? Or you don't talk to her no more? If you don't talk to her no more and you had sex with her, that's a failure, man. She failed and you failed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to fail. So I want to have success. So, sweetie, I say this. I want to have success with you and not just have sex with you. You know what I'm saying? Let's have success with this. And yeah, we had good sex in the midst of it. You know, where's the success at? Where's the success beyond just our sex? Oh, we had successful sex. Nah, that's not success, man. It's just you just had some sex. Sex is spiritual. Sex is marriage. Where's the success in that? Okay. Uh, but here's the thing. Why should a man tell you about his future and you don't plan on being a part of it? See, sometimes the failed prototype to me is when you start to kind of put that concept together and you realize you don't really see a use for it. The more you start to put it together. And I know that a lot of fellas been in a lot of these situations. You've seen how, like, you start to kind of get around this feminine gender a little bit more. You start to talk to her a little bit more, and then you start to realize, man, I really don't kind of see like how she would even be a part of my life. So why should I even tell her about a lot of my life if I don't really see how she can even be a part of it? And so hopefully you're the type that just hasn't really had sex with her yet either. You've probably tried to have some type of intimacy with her so you can see if she can be a part of your life and your future, but you didn't take it too far. Remember, sex is marriage. So you realize, though, with the little bit you've done around her, you realize, like, I don't know, man, it's just kind of off. I don't know what to say. I don't want to get too caught up in this because remember, it's a prototype. Remember, there's a lot of investment you have to do with that. And so there have been countless manufacturers who have histories of failed prototypes that they've spent billions of dollars on. And it did not get off the ground, did it? No, it did not get off the ground at all. So don't become that guy, that making too much of an investment type of a guy. Now, see, and I tell folks, in a man's vision, in a man's future, when we talk about a man talking about the future, uh, a man's future isn't necessarily his vision either. A man doesn't have to tell a female about his future nor his vision because she's not trying to be a woman in his life. Okay. A man likes to talk about things with a woman, not a female. Okay. In many ways, she failed her purpose as a prototype. She failed to conceptualize to her purpose in her prototype stages. She failed to let one see what she was capable of so that she can be taken seriously, so that she can have that serial number put on her, that stamp, that imprint, so that, she can be a little more red pilled around that man. To me, being a woman is red pill. Okay. You got a lot of these females that aren't women that try to talk about what it means to be a woman, but to me, they're just talking status quo. That's not red pill to me. The prototype woman, she's trying to be red pill with this thing, but that's because she's around a man showing her how he wants her to be in his life. That's red pill right there to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, see, one thing I'm gonna leave y'all with is fellas, one more thing I'm gonna say, and ladies, keep this in mind. For you to know, maybe you could tell a chick this who ain't trying to be right with a certain guy, but maybe this is something that you'll also keep in mind, because this is something that you want to be right with a man. So maybe this doesn't apply to you, what I'm about to say. Uh, Fellas, if she doesn't appreciate your presence, give her your absence. And I heard that from somebody. It was a content creator I heard before say that. So that's where I got that statement from. But I'm gonna add to that. I'm gonna add my own little recipe to that. So I would say this, that the person, the content creator said, if she doesn't appreciate your presence, give her your absence. And then I would add to that, I would say, if she demands your presence, also give her your absence from that too. Because a man shouldn't be called on like he's a dog. Come here. I need you to talk. Like you demanding him to talk to you. How about, sweetie, you want him to talk to you? Like, if he's the type that, you want him to talk to you more, just be like, hey, I don't know if you be busy, but I would love to hear from you more. I like talking to you. Like, talk to him pleasant. And then he'd be like, oh, word, hey, I ain't really know, I ain't really know like how you flow. I want to, just respecting your space or whatever. But yeah, you want me to talk to you more? I'm good. I don't want to seem like no pushover or nothing like that. So, um, but with all that said, this what ties up with the failed prototype, because it's constantly demanding for the tester to get around this concept that isn't going anywhere. This chick constantly wants a man's attention. So fellas, this is the type of chick that wants you to always talk to her, but she ain't really got nothing to talk about. And you're just like, we ain't going nowhere with this. Like real talk. Venom said, true intimacy is the foundation for the relationship. Sex is only a part, but it's a necessary thing within encompassing whole of the union. Yep, that's true. Sex to me is the cherry on top of the ice cream, but with everything that I've just stated, and I pretty much got everything out the way that I needed to say with this live stream. I didn't think I was going to go this far and this long, but y'all wanted it, and I gave it to y'all, and man, I just appreciated y'all wanted to stick around and check this out, and I'm just glad I was able to get it out the way. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing I would have to say, just to kind of end off, is yeah, ladies, work on wanting to be a man's prototype. You know what I'm saying? And then yeah, you'll be a twilight to him, that twinkle in that man's eye. You know what I'm saying? You progress, and it's going to be a beautiful thing, because you'll definitely be taken seriously, and you're not going to end up like a lot of these chicks that don't want nobody to tell them what to do. But look at how misguided they are. Look at how much of a failure they've become. Hopefully this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live made some sense to, feel free to hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. If this is your first time coming to this channel and you like this type of content, just know that there's so more on the way. Yeah, there's more in store. So feel free to subscribe, share this live, as well as my other content. You need to reach me, go on my about section. You'll see my email. You'll see other channels that I'm on that you can subscribe to. And I got other resources in the about section. Just reach out to me. Okay. I got an extensive playlist at this point. You can check out my other videos. I've been doing this for a little bit, I guess for like almost a year now. I mean, but I've put out a lot of content in a very short period of time. And I definitely got a lot more content coming down the road and a lot more live streams too. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get all of my uploads in real time. I appreciate that, Charlotte Swan. I really appreciate that. Right on. Uh, Let me see. Venom. He said it's been a good session. Go in peace and enjoy your night, everyone. Yep, yep. Most definitely for everybody. Enjoy y'all night. Enjoy your night too, Venom. That's why I be strategic with my live streams because you got some people that go live all the time, and you know what? That's their style, okay? But I see kind of like my lives, kind of like the time spent in my lives between an hour and a 2 hour mark. That's like watching a movie. So I prepare for these live streams like you prepare to watch a movie, or the director working on the script. I be thinking about that. So I want y'all to be wanting to come and watch or listen, and so less is more for me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to constantly put out live streams all the time and I'm talking my head off and I'm losing my voice and I'm coughing on my spit. You know what I mean? I don't have to do that all the time. Oh, Brown Do Life. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to check out the rest of the replay, fam, for sure. I got plenty for you to check out on the replay. You already know that though. Yeah. But all I got to say, y'all, is that yeah, I'm looking at the rest of this year, kind of seeing how things are going to go. And I don't know, you kind of look around the world and you kind of seeing how you got some places that are going back into quarantine stages. You got some places that are even opening up too because some of them just don't care. Like some of them don't care that there's this idea of this thing called COVID-19. They want to live. They want to feel normal. I'd say, man, just make sure that they say, get around some steam and drink plenty of tea. Just try to stay healthy. I guess that's my point. Try to work out as much as possible. I actually just tried to jump rope the other day. I got to get better at jump roping. It's been years since I jump roped. Oh my goodness. Don't judge, don't laugh. Yeah. But but no matter what it looks like out there, it's only going to get better from here, y'all. And until next time, signing out. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, let's see this. Brown Do Life said UK going on lockdown because of the second wave. See? Yeah, so stack up, y'all. Get your little goodies from the store while you can. Get your essentials. Get as much as you can. You know, uh just stay healthy and stay good. That's all I can really say. I don't like to do no fear mongering at this channel. Just stay ready. Not really stay ready, stay healthy. That's what I meant to stay. Stay healthy and stay good. You know what I mean? But yeah, see y'all next time. Much love. Much love. I got a few more live streams on the way. I think in a few days. I think I got a few more live streams coming up. And yeah, y'all take care now and enjoy the rest of y'all night. Given the date of this live stream, because I think it's like 9:53 Central Standard Time right now. So yeah, man, y'all chill. Yeah, enjoy yourselves. All right now.